Yeah, and it's so annoying when you don't get the compliment that you want to get.
Yeah.
You know, like you're striving for sexy, but you get called cute, and it's like, no, 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 that's not what I was going for, actually, sir.
Yeah, when it's
Please
like,
get your spectrum right, sort it out, draw me a diagram right now.
sorry, let me show you my diagram and choose another word, please.
Hello, welcome back to Sextras,
Where we talk about sex and all the extras.
I'm Honey.
And I'm Maria.
And today we're going to talk about dressing for the male gaze.
A light topic, baby.
Yes. Before we get into the episode, tell us what zone you're in today and why, please.
Okay. Today I am actually feeling like kind of yellow, not gonna lie. Like, I'm super happy, in a good place. I'm excited about my relationship and my sex life or whatever. So yeah, that's where I'm at. What about you?
God, we are so boring. I mean, I'm happy for you that you're feeling happy, obviously, but like I am feeling red as always, so there's really nothing new here, and we are literally just saying the same things every week. But you never know, maybe one day I'll like actually have sex, and then we can tell our listeners something interesting about our zone for the week. But yeah, anyway, shall we move on? And I wanted to define some of our key terms.
So, the male gaze, if you do not exist on the internet and don't know this already, is a term used to describe the male perspective, shockingly. And it was originally coined in 1975 by Laura Mulvey, talking about cinematography and the way women's bodies and actions are framed by the camera as being viewed by a man and like existing for their pleasure, essentially. And there's two aspects of it. The first aspect is the one I just discussed, and the second one is the fact that we as women internalize this male gaze and police ourselves through it. So we change our actions and the way we present ourselves in terms of whether we're going to appeal to the male gaze or whether we want to repel it. And this is a whole feminist issue of, should we be doing either of those things? How can we escape the male gaze? Are we upholding the male gaze? And yeah, that's kind of what we want to talk about today, is just like, how do we dress? Do we dress in ways that like uphold the male gaze? Do we dress to repel it? How do we act, basically? And like, how does all of this interact with the male gaze? The male gaze.
And how to avoid it, essentially.
Yes.
But then, like,
can we avoid it?
Yeah, exactly.
Big questions. Yeah, so then leading on from the male gaze, we want to think about the terms of like sexiness and attraction and all of these things. And I feel like we've talked quite a lot about, there's like differences between hot and sexy and attractive and beautiful and cute and all of these things. But like you explain.
Yeah. Okay, well, no, basically, I don't even know where I first heard this, or like, but I've asked this question to people before, like, oh, what kind of attractive, essentially, do you think you are? Like, do you think you're pretty or hot or beautiful or sexy or fit? Because, like, those things are all kind of different things. And, like, some people are like, what? Like, I don't, like, they're all kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But some people, like, get what I'm saying, and I feel like a lot of people do, and there is this understanding that like beautiful means something different than pretty, and like one is better than the other in some way. Do you know what I'm saying? And like sexy is a very different thing than beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's like, which one do I want to be, and like which one is more beneficial realistically, like which one is more desirable, and like which, in some ways, it's like, which one am I going to choose? But also it's like, which one have I been given?
Yeah, and which one are you trying to live up to?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I guess this is an important point, because the whole reason that I wanted to do this episode is because I don't see myself as like sexy. Like that's not something that I'm
Which
aspiring.
one would you choose? Sorry,
to
like
be.
just say how problematic it is, and then be like, wait, but like, which one are you? Which one do you perceive yourself as, and like, which one do you think other people would say, or like, yeah, I don't know if that's interesting for people.
I think other people say that I'm either like cute or like beautiful.
Is that what like the guys that you or like people that you've slept with or whatever?
Yeah, like I'm never really, it's never like, oh, you're so sexy, and I'm like, yeah, I'm fine with that, because that's not really something I'm striving to be, because I have my own problems with the word sexy because of the male gaze. So
I see.
You get what I mean.
So like, which one would you most prefer? Or like, or I guess you said which one you mostly get. Like, which one do you perceive yourself as? Is it the same? Because that's like the feedback you get, or
yeah, like pretty or like beautiful, I feel like is what I'm trying to. It's like what I see myself as in my best moments, but also what I'm trying to live up to the most. Yeah.
Okay.
But never, and I guess attractive as well, but never sexy. And never like fit.
Hot,
yeah, hot's fine.
What's like the difference to you?
Hot is somewhere between sexy and attractive to me. Like it's kind of a combination of the two.
Is fit not the same though?
No, fit in my mind is a whole other
to me
thing.
Fit and hot are like pretty much the same.
This is like the graph in my mind.
The spectrum.
Sexy, attractive, hot, fit.
Fit is fit just about vocabulary though?
No.
For you? Like you just don't like the word? That's what I mean.
I don't dislike the word.
Okay.
It's just like what it represents.
Okay.
But
what
I don't know
does it
how to
represent
explain
you?
what it represents.
Okay.
And then pretty and beautiful are like kind of their own separate chart over here. And then cute is like here.
I mean, a bit of an abstract map, but...
I'll do a diagram for the Instagram, guys. Don't worry. Stay tuned.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, to me, fit and hot, same thing. Then like, and they're on like the similar side of the spectrum as sexy. Like they're kind of one kind of category, which is like, to me, like it involves more sex appeal rather than like like aesthetically and like traditionally like a pretty girl or whatever, you know what I mean? Like to me that's like pretty, beautiful, cute. They're on it. Like it's basically two kind of columns or like a Venn diagram almost. I can't like picture in my head exactly like a whatever, but we can put both our different ones.
Oh, this is just getting so abstract.
No, but I genuinely would. I'm so interested in people's opinions of this. So, like, send them through, guys.
Yeah, send us your diagram.
Genuinely, we should make templates.
Like mean templates.
Oh no, I'm joking.
That is so something we do.
Yeah, so there are like two kind of categories, and one is more like to do with sex appeal, and yeah, as I said, the other one is more like with traditional. And I guess it's like, yeah, one is like more like, it's like the Madonna and the
yeah,
what is it?
Whore.
The Madonna.
What's that word? Oh yeah, whore.
The Madonna and the Madonna and the whore.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so fucked up in my mind. Anyway, but yeah, that's kind of what it's like for me.
It is fully, because wait, before you say what you perceive yourself as, when I think of sexy and those like that group, I think of the male gaze shot of like a woman's body. Like it's very body centric and like movement centric, whereas beautiful and pretty, I feel like is more form and like aesthetic centric, even though it's kind of the same thing, but it's more like appreciation rather than
desire.
Yeah, and like objectification.
No, I think I do see objectification in both, but in different ways than like
I feel like beautiful is more romanticized.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of removed from the male gaze in a weird way, but it's also like kind of a bit fucked up. It's still fucked up. Whereas, I don't know, maybe this is getting so abstract, but maybe beauty, you have to like look for it more, whereas sexiness is like surface level, like it's like an instant attraction.
Yeah, no, I do see that.
Anyway, say what yours are, like what do you perceive yourself as, and what do people say to you?
Oh, well, no, because I was also thinking about the whole wife material kind of thing as well. How, like, you would want the girl that you fuck to be sexy, but, like, your wife to be, like, you know, the girl that you're in love with, you are more likely to be like, oh, she's beautiful. And I feel like beautiful is also, like, seen as a more, like, sort of elevated, like, an elevated sort of, you kind of contain it all. Or, like,
they have
there are
more
some terms
self-respect
that,
than sexy.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I was trying to get at. And so yeah, I don't know. I feel like there are certain, like, I go for different things for different occasions.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Me
that
too.
I think that is like
But
exactly what
overall,
I feel like that's exactly
that's
what the male gaze is. It's like
be about,
you want to like. You want to basically chameleon your way into, like, the situation in
like
the way that will make you the most desirable in that specific context.
Maximize
like,
how many men will want you in any given circumstance.
Yeah, and it's like, because, like, in a club, I'd want to go for sexy. I don't want someone to be like, oh, wow, like, she's so cute.
Yeah.
But, like, if I was, like, going to, like, a cute little picnic with my boyfriend or whatever, would go for cute, you know?
Yeah, and it's so annoying when you don't get the compliment that you want to get.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're striving for sexy, but you get called cute, and it's like, no, that's not what I was going for, actually, sir.
Yeah, when it's like...
Get your spectrum right. Sort it out. Draw me a diagram right now.
Sorry, let me show you my diagram and choose another word, please.
Please choose the correct adjective.
If you can follow the quiz to find the right.
Just listen to this hour-long podcast before you even talk to me, please. Anyway, sorry. Please tell us which one overall you perceive yourself as.
But it is interesting, and I mean, I do think, like, in the end, what sexy is, what, like, beauty is, it is, there's no answer, but, like, it is, not to be annoying, but, like, it is subjective in my personal opinion, but
then that's also, like,
then
a product of the male gaze.
There are all these,
subjectivity, sorry.
And then there are all these tropes that is like it comes from somewhere. But anyway. That said, I think I get what I've got on the most is probably, like, fit or pretty. And what I would say for myself, or, like, or no, actually, fit or cute. Cute I get the most, I reckon.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just because you're short.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I see myself as cute and fit. Yeah, that's what I see myself as.
Okay.
And pretty and beautiful. And should we get into the segment?
Let's actually get into the segment now.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so we asked you guys, what do you wear when you want to look sexy? To see what the sexy consensus was of what we thought it meant, essentially.
Yes.
So we start. Someone said boots or dress.
Someone said PJs.
Someone said eyeliner.
Someone said red lipstick.
Someone said matching underwear, lacy underwear.
Yeah,
lingerie. I see that, of course.
Of course. Someone said stockings, maybe a crop top of sorts.
Someone said time to get the tits out.
Yeah. Someone said all black or black lace or black shirt.
Someone said matchy outfits, not just underwear. That's my style. I figured it out.
Yeah.
That is just coordinate, like color coordinate.
All one
like
colour.
Monochrome outfits, essentially.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
It's cute.
I really do.
It's cute. See? It's cute.
not sexy.
Well, yeah, I don't want to fuck you, so I'm really so sexy of you how you match your outfit. Like, what?
Okay, fine. Someone else said nothing. Fair enough. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
I mean, sure. But
Do you
also
feel-
bodies aren't
I
inherently sexual, so that's the male gaze talking there.
do you find like I find like underwear, like when people are wearing underwear sexier than them when they're naked.
Yeah.
I find my own body a
I
lot
agree.
more
It's like,
attractive not naked, not fully naked.
well, I think there's like two reasons for that. The first one is that it like divides your body in the way that you traditionally want it to be sexy, and the second is that it's like mysterious. Like I mean, you know what's under there, but like it's like titillating, tantalizing,
and it like
teasing,
puts everything in the right place, like, you know. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I actually can do the air quotes.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
If you
even
guys
do
are
them.
watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
If not, you can just hear Maria's fingers like wiggling next to the microphone.
But
Makes
you know,
sense.
me subscribing to the male gaze as always.
Yes, Maria. The last one, someone said eye makeup because I don't do it very often, or something leggy.
Yeah. So main themes: skin,
black,
boobs,
good outfits,
legs,
makeup.
Yep. What would you say is like? What do you wear when you want to feel sexy?
Black.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about why, and then I was like, because it makes your body a literal silhouette. Like, it's all focused on your body, or like it shows off your body.
Yeah, when you want to feel sexy.
Yeah.
I guess. But then that's because I guess. Okay, so showing sexy, I think like consensus is you showing your body. Like your body has to be presented in some kind of way. Because I mean, sexy implies like sex.
Yeah.
And sex implies like skin, nakedness.
Yeah. Okay, so black, but then red is such a big thing as well, and I wonder why that is.
Because it's like a horny color,
like raw
it's like
flesh.
passion. It's like an aphrodisiac, I swear. The color red.
Is it actually like scientifically,
I could just be
or is it
making
just
that up,
because
but
of
I'm
our
pretty sure.
associations with it?
I also think it is because of the associations, because it's obviously like with love, lust, like that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So I do feel like it is heavily associated with horniness and shit. Okay, so I mean, I don't really know what we established from that, but as in,
well, you know, like
the
general
idea.
Consensus of how to dress to be sexy under the male gaze, which is like.
So then, how do you dress sexy to defying the male gaze?
Yeah, well, this is the big question.
Because I could be like, okay, I'm gonna choose to defy the male gaze, so I'm not gonna wear like lingerie. I'm gonna wear a turtleneck today to feel sexy, but that wouldn't make me feel sexy. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but this is like the whole problem, is that so much of how we feel in ourselves comes from validation from the male gaze. Like, I don't know what it feels like to be sexy or like feel sexy without conforming to the male gaze.
Yeah, I guess I don't really either.
Or like trying to dress a certain way to reach it without thinking or taking the male gaze into consideration.
Well, yeah, I mean, even I am thinking like, what is my mindset with my very famous life motto? If you think you're sexy, then you are sexy.
I believe I'm sexy.
Yeah, I believe I am sexy, and then I am. The feeling is genuinely just feeling like you're the hottest person in the room, and I don't know whether that means. I think there's a certain degree of that means you think everyone thinks that you're the hottest person in the room, so as in like you're being perceived as the hottest person in the room.
Yeah.
But there's also just a degree of like, it's more of a like inward feeling. So I do think that like sexiness, because I think a lot of sexiness, regardless of the clothes or whatever, comes from confidence, for instance. Like that's the thing that a lot of people, you hear time and again say, like confidence is sexy, and
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, episode title.
Go
One of our
listen. Episode 12.
Accidental plug right there. So I do think that it is an inner coming from within sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it is like a feeling of like you're feeling yourself, like you think that you really believe that you were attractive, whatever that means. In my eyes, I am hot right now. I am beautiful, like I am sexy.
Yeah.
And like, not to sound like super cheesy and like in affirmations kind of way, just in like a...
No, but
that is the attitude you need to have. And then like, honestly, you will be sexy event like... fake it till you make it.
Yeah, it is a state of mind.
Work.
Because there's definitely a difference between that and like the spontaneous feeling of like, oh, I feel this description of myself, like fill in the blank right now, as opposed to you're intentionally trying to reach that, which in itself is like, you probably will never reach it because it's like some inaccessible on a higher plane that you will never reach, because the male gaze is something that is so, like, the idea of a woman under the male gaze is something that is just completely inaccessible for any woman, and that's why like we can't stop trying to reach that point.
Yeah.
And that's why we're not attractive to every single man on the planet, because it's impossible, in the same way as men can't be like completely attractive to us. Like, not every man is attractive to us, even though it's not really the same thing, but still. But I think men are still affected by the male gaze, but it's just a completely different thing altogether, which like we could do a whole other episode on that, and we probably will at some point. But so this is the problem as well, is with dating and dressing for the male gaze, because I just don't know what to wear on a date. Like, I genuinely, because I don't want to go on the date and try to look sexy, because I don't want to give the man that satisfaction of like, oh, you know, I made all this effort for you, first of all, and second of all, that is like a whole double-sided, that's not what I mean, but I feel like it's quite a good phrase, issue in the male gaze of like, even if we did make that effort for men, they could then turn around and be like, oh, like, why do you know that you're sexy? And like, why are you trying to reach this ideal? And then it gives them some kind of, they think that it gives them some kind of like free pass to do whatever they want with you, because you're like trying to look sexy for them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that there is the whole pressure of dressing on a date is definitely real, and there is this pressure of like, I want to look good, like I want them to think that I look attractive, whatever that may mean, but at the same time, like, I don't want it to look like I'm trying too hard, and like I don't want it to look like it took me, exactly, like I want this to look effortless, and like this is like what I look like all the time. It's not like I look like I tried specially hard for this, and like even to the greater extent, kind of what you were saying, like you don't even want to make that effort for them. Like, it's not even about like trying to make it look like you didn't make the effort. It's like you don't even want to give them that time of day, because it's like, again, subscribing to all these things.
No, but it's like, even though I don't want it to look like that, I'm still gonna spend ages getting ready, and I spend ages getting ready every day regardless of where I'm going, because I want to look good. But then that's also a problem of like, am I doing it for myself or because I want to look good to other people? But I think ultimately it's like, it makes me feel good to do that.
I think like, I mean, it's a hard question to actually answer honestly, but realistically, when you wake up in the morning and when you're getting dressed, are you getting dressed being like, I hope people walk past and like think like, oh, that girl's really good looking, or like that outfit is really good, or you know, any combination of that?
100%. But it's so problematic in my mind as like a feminist, you know, because I'm like,
oh, like people, you mean like specifically, do you think like men, like as in I want to be like attractive in that sense, or like just
no, it's to anyone. It's just objectively, but objectively is a male gaze. So it's like, even if it's for women, then are we still trying to fulfill the male gaze, but just from the woman as the man? Yeah,
that's another one, like the whole like, I mean, I do genuinely believe that it is like, I dress more so like girls will be like, oh wow, I love her outfit, because I know like guys won't care in like the things that I care about, and I know other girls care about, and like guys don't even understand the amount of like thought that you put into some shit.
Because the product of the male gaze is not even something that they want. Like, it's gone so far out of hand that it's not even something that is recognizable to them as being under the male gaze. But it's because women have internalized it so much.
But then do you think maybe it's like in some ways moving away from it? Because like,
yeah,
like for instance, like trends, a lot of them, and like girls' investment in fashion and like through TikTok trends and all of that, even though like there's so much toxic shit in that, and I'm not even gonna get into it, but I'm just saying, like, do you not think it's like in some ways giving girls more investment into clothes, like not from like a, oh, is this making me look fitter or like more sexy or whatever, but more in like a, oh, this is like a really cool piece, and like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like it's
no,
more
I
like
do
investment
get
in
what
the
you mean.
clothes and in the style, and it is that thing of like, I know that if I wear this vintage jacket by like so and so designer, like if I walk past, like there are like girls that will see it and know the jacket and be like, oh my god, like that jacket is so sick or whatever, you know, whatever it is. I'm not saying that specifically. I guess that I just made myself sound like such a dickhead.
But I completely get what you mean. Yeah.
But like,
I think so, yeah. I guess it is moving away from it because it's like we are claiming it back in a way, but because of the fact, I think it's just the whole industry of fashion and clothes and like the way clothes are made, and yeah, I guess it is about how you wear them rather than trying to conform to exact trends or whatever. But I'm glad that you brought up TikTok because I think we actually should talk about this. And it kind of comes back to like, who do you get dressed for, and like, what are you thinking about when you're getting dressed? Because as we said at the beginning, a huge part of the male gaze is like women internalizing it. And I was listening to this podcast where this girl said that women have internalized the male gaze so much that they're like almost living outside themselves, in that they are looking at themselves constantly from the perspective of an outsider, and that perspective is through the male gaze. So they're always thinking, like, no matter where you are or what you're doing, you're like, how do I look right now? Like, you could just be walking home and you're like, what do I look like? Like, how are these men on the side of the road gonna perceive me right now? And you're trying to see it from their perspective because that's how much we've internalized it. So bringing it back to TikTok and all the trends that are going on at the moment, there are so many that it's like, romanticize your life. Are you ridden by a man or a woman? Being the main character. And this all feeds back into the male gaze of like the main character. When you think about being the main character, are you thinking about a female directed film or are you thinking about a male directed film? And even if it's a female directed film, is she doing
like,
it
what
from
narrative
the
is it playing out? Like, because when you do think about it, most narratives in films and shit, it is like a very like heteronormative, patriarchal, like just kind of like fantasy, romanticizing love and like relationships and all of this shit.
Yeah, and the girls in those films are like not really how any girls act in real life, but now it's kind of become how girls act in real life because it's like romanticized to be the main character in your own life, which is just a whole,
I mean, but then again, in like a lot of ways, for instance, like the main character thing, because I'm trying to think of examples, like, and the thing that literally just popped into my mind is like the whole, okay, try to be the main character, so like when the boy texts you, like, or like don't wait for the boy to text you, be like, tell him how you feel, you know. I think like that's the kind of like shit that the whole main character thing is promoting, of like, be active in your life, don't just like wait for shit to happen to you. Like, true. You're meant to be like making the story happen and like driving the story forward, which like I do think it can be positive, but I completely get what you're saying of like, check what narrative you're following and think a little bit more about what you're doing. Yeah, I don't know. I read, when I was writing my diss, I read all of this shit about like women going through puberty, and I wrote this whole chapter about like sexuality during puberty and how like girls become like sexualized and learn from like, before they even like know what's going on and like what's happening and like understanding like being okay with their bodies, they learn to objectify themselves. Like they don't even, basically girls don't even get a chance. Like it's not even like acting against the like other people objectifying them, because they just like it's ingrained to just objectify themselves and like dress a certain way and like subscribe to the male gaze to like propel forward in life, essentially. And like this whole idea of like pretty privilege and all of this shit, which is like a thing. It's like definitely a thing. So it's like it's not really avoidable, because it is a privilege, and like it will help you in life. Like people that are hot will get treated better, or perceived as attractive will be treated better. And like I don't know. Yeah, it's so fucked.
It's so fucked. And bringing it back, this is all why I have a problem with like the term sexy and like defining myself as sexy, because it's like I'm so confused by the term, and like maybe I am just overthinking it. Fine, I don't care though, because that is what I do, so that is inescapable. I can't, like, sometimes if I'm feeling in a mood where I'm not going to completely overthink it, I'll put on something that is like a sexy dress, or like I'm showing a bit more skin or whatever, or it's a bit tighter. Not to say that like I never wear those things in any other circumstance, but it's just like I don't want to intentionally be getting dressed thinking about those things and then be overthinking it all the time, which makes going on dates difficult. And also just the fact that I'm tall and that I'm like, oh, I don't know what shoes to wear to like be the right height, but then it's like, why does it even matter what height I am? That as well is like a massive thing of I need to look more feminine and like shorter and more delicate.
And like, sorry to bring it back to the whole like when we're younger and stuff, but like at school, do you want to like talk a bit about that as well?
So and I think I've always been, as long as I can remember, and as soon as I like heard about what feminism was, I was like, well, don't objectify me, don't sexualize my body. Like I would say that to my mom, and I used to wear such short skirts because of that, because I was like, you can't tell me that this is wrong because my body isn't inherently sexual. Which I think is the right sentiment. I also think it's quite like a naive sentiment in a way, because it's like ignoring the fact, again, a very problematic like catch-22 argument, but it's ignoring the fact that like men will still sexualize you, even if it's not inherently. You can't just dismiss the fact that that is how society is, and like it's definitely not on our shoulders as women, or like anyone who is victimized by this objectification, to like have to think about these things. Like it shouldn't be, but we still for our own safety we have to be. And like anyway, it's not really relevant to the story, but I just wanted to make a note. So because of this, I always like wore short skirts, or like I don't know, I feel like I've always just like worn whatever the fuck I wanted. I didn't really care. Like I saw some pictures of outfits I wore when I was like 12, and I was like, what? Why did you let me wear this? And it's like, well, okay, because I wouldn't have let them say anything otherwise. But so I tried on a skirt that I used to wear all the time when I was like 16, 17 the other day, and I was like, I cannot believe it barely covers my ass. It barely covers my ass. I wouldn't wear it now because I'm like, I don't think I could, like, it will show my ass. Anyway, so that's like the level of short skirts that we're talking. And I used to wear these to school, right? And it was kind of like a fuck you thing. But I used to get like heavily shamed for it by the teachers. Like it was like a group decision that they just like would always call me out in front of large groups of people all the time. It was just me being singled out for wearing a short skirt, even though other people were probably wearing equally as short skirts, but they just decided that like I was the one they were gonna pick on. And then I was like, I think I just internalized all that shame after that. And like I was like 16, 17 at the time, and now I don't really wear short skirts anymore because I feel like so uncomfortable that someone might call me out in it. Like I've almost regressed in a weird way of like, I don't want to make myself, even if it's as a like even if it's an empowering thing to begin with, the fact that other people then turn around and do it is like, oh, okay, well that's
Yeah.
kind of like a reality check.
Yeah,
And like I don't want to put myself in that situation. And only recently have I been like, okay, maybe I should buy some short skirts again, because like I feel like I'm old enough to handle this now. But it's something inside of me that like I was just so heavily shamed about it
Yeah.
so constantly. And like I kind of want to write a letter to our school and be like, you should know that you really fucked me up by doing that. And it was like teachers that claimed they were feminist and stuff. Yeah, I mean, even though
we had so much of that, like the girls that were curvier or whatever, like had big boobs or a big ass or whatever, like they could be wearing the exact same shirt, like exact same outfit as like one of the skinny girls, and like no problem with the skinny girls, but the other girl would get asked to change, and it's like, that is so not okay. Like, that is not okay by any means. Like yeah, I know the shirt doesn't look the same. I'm like, what if her tits are out? Like, literally, that is, it's so, to me, it's so ludicrous to give a girl a message of, like, you should, like, police your body and, like, you should, like, change what you want to do because of the way others might perceive you. Like, that's not okay.
Yeah, it was not okay, and it was so toxic, and it's something that sticks with you for, like, I don't know how long it's gonna stick with me for, but I mean, I guess that is just kind of like the whole premise of this episode is like, even though we have talked so much about like what should you or shouldn't you wear, you should just kind of like wear what you want to wear. Even if we sat down and analysed it, maybe it would come back to you trying to prescribe to the male gaze. Like, if that's how you, like, if that's what you want to wear in the moment, just fucking wear it. Even if it's like, oh, a man came up with this trend because he wants women to, like, no, who cares in the end? And like, it becomes so complex, as you can tell from us grappling with this discussion so much, of like, what do you wear? Like, what do queer people wear? What do people who date people of the same gender wear? What do people who don't prescribe to any gender wear? And like, is that trying to live up to the male gaze? But surely that's the antithesis of what they're even,
like, of their whole identity.
Yeah, their whole identity. And yeah, so I think we have a lot to learn from queerness. We have a lot to learn from just like confidence, being yourself, claiming what you wear as your own, and like not trying to live up to anything, even though we all do it every now and again. But like, we realistically can't like escape it forever.
And I think like detaching your value and like your confidence from that validation from other people, which I think is like, that's, I guess, the hard thing to do. And I think like once you do that, you can actually start wearing like what you actually want to wear because you want to wear it, rather than like because then like I will look this way and like this person will think this of me. And you get what I'm saying? So like if you start to be like, oh, I look great, and that is like validation enough for the outfit, it's not like, oh, but like is it a bit too much, or like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that's actually a good point. Just to like tie it back into dating, how do you think being in a relationship changes how you dress?
I've actually like, I've said this like a couple of times, I feel like I'm so much more confident than when I'm not in a relationship than when I am in a relationship, which I guess is like definitely not a good thing. But well, actually not so much now. I'd say like it's kind of
no, I feel like you're thriving or whatever. Now.
Like like I wouldn't say now, but as in like definitely at the start of my relationship, like even like the first year, definitely in like my other relationship, I don't know, when I'm single, it's like because because like my validation, I can get it from like multiple people. It's like constantly being full, you know, so I constantly am like, okay,
but it's still validation from other people.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then
yourself,
and then like obviously when it's like on one person, it's like I need that a lot. Like I need it from that one person a lot, and it's like I need to be.
So you're more aware of like
reassured,
the like what you need from yourself as well.
Yeah, I think like now that's kind of what happened. That is like now that I've reached this like level of like, okay, I feel like I I've gotten the reassurance that I need, like, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can kind of, like, finally be like,
3
okay, like,
years
starting
into
to...
a relationship, she's finally there.
And in my, like, self-growth
Yeah.
journey or
No,
whatever.
yeah.
But I think that is, like, I guess the step is, like, detach that validation from other people and, like, get it from yourself and
Yeah,
all of
that's
that shit.
true.
But no, I do feel like it is kind of a weird thing. Like, I do feel a lot more when I'm single, and yeah, I guess you can, like, seek that validation from other people, and, like,
Yeah.
I guess oh my god, yeah, I guess I can, like, feed more into the male gaze, because
Yeah.
it's like I can, like, dress more not that I can't dress however I want in a relationship, but it's like I don't feel the desire to be like, oh, I want to dress sexy, so, like, guys at the club will think I'm fit. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I'm saying? Like, I will still be like, oh, I want to look hot, but, like, that to me is, like, a little bit different now. It's like,
It's more
I don't
specific
want them to
one
like
person.
like, yeah, it's like I don't want people to want to fuck me necessarily, but it's like I still want to be like
an
the
acceptable
fittest girl in the
level
room.
of hot. Maria once famously said to me,
I legit
I think
always
it's on
strive.
the same night as I believe I'm sexy and then I am sexy. She turns to me and she goes, honey, shh, don't tell anyone I said this, but we are definitely the hottest people here.
But,
and
like,
I was like, okay, good to know.
I constantly like strive to be the fittest in the room. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that is what I always want. And it's like, it's not about actual, like, the way you look. It's just like, I
State
just
of
always want to
mind.
feel like I'm the fittest in the room.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to feel any less than, you know?
Mm-hmm. Main character vibes. Yeah, no, it's interesting because I feel like I'm the opposite.
Just to finish my point, and that's, like, easier when you're single, because you can, like, really play into all these what's gonna make me desirable tropes, whereas, like, as you said, like, it's either just catered to one person, or it's, like, toned down in, like, I still want to be, like, perceived as attractive, but, like, not, like, I want to fuck you attractive.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, still I want to fuck you attractive, but, like,
There's boundaries.
it doesn't, like, my tits don't need to, like, it doesn't need to be, like, actually out on the table. That's what I'm saying. But then it's like, yeah, it's like really, that's really interesting. It's quite
the boundaries.
What's that word? Nuanced.
Nuanced.
Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I think I'm like the opposite, but now that I'm thinking about it, there's a weird, like, freedom that comes with being in a relationship, in that you kind of do have that validation from that one person already, that, like, you don't need to be finding validation elsewhere. And with my ex, I would just wear whatever I wanted to wear. But then he was like, oh, but, like, this isn't, like, what I would want you to wear. Like, I don't love your style, kind of thing. And I was like, oh.
Great vibes.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Honey has, like, glasses on that she can't see the colour red.
Yeah, I can't. I just ignore red flags. It's the same as how I can't hear men's voices. It's just, like, one part of the same problem. Yeah, I can't hear them saying the things that are red flags. It's not my fault.
Selective hearing.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I have hearing loss in lower frequencies, which is, like, so on brand that I can't hear men's voices.
Yeah, of course.
But anyway, and then now that I'm single again and I'm dating, I feel like I was so fine with my appearance. Like, I don't really care. I mean, I do care about it, but, like, not like, I wasn't trying to find validation. And then when I started dating again, I was like, oh fuck, like, this is something I have to think about now. And I had that, like, crisis. Remember when I was like, what the fuck am I meant to wear on a date? Like, what is it that people find attractive? Because, like, that is a part of dating as well, of, like, you want to feel attractive. It's normal to want a bit of validation, but it's, like, not relying on it for your confidence. That is the problem. And I was like, I just genuinely don't think I know what people find attractive, because even in my relationship I wasn't, like, trying to make him find me attractive.
Yeah.
So then now it's, like, all these strangers, and it's like each one has their own preference, and you can't live up to everyone's preference. So then in the end you do just end up dressing like what makes you feel good, and, like, what's going to make you be your best self on the date, but you still have to think about it.
Yeah.
And
No,
it's
for
still
sure.
something that like I fret over for many hours before I go on the date, and then end up just wearing the same thing that I wear on every other date. Like, my mum was like, you should have a formula. You wear the same thing on every first date, and you wear the same thing on every second date. So then you'd never have to think about what you wore the last time you saw them. You just know, okay, second date, this is my outfit. And I was like, that is quite a good idea, but I'm already too far in to like have done that. But yeah, maybe I should
From now
start
on,
from now on. Although I am in the blue, black, red zone,
yeah,
so I'm
that's
not
true.
really like looking to date anyone new. I just want to fuck. But I have to date to fuck. That's the problem.
Yeah, that sucks.
And to date to fuck, you have to look sexy to date to fuck. So that's a whole other problem.
Yeah, but maybe also if you do just start dressing for like your own version of sexy, which like I guess is impossible because as we have been saying, because I do think like even if I was like, okay, try to forget everything, you know, not that that's possible, but like if I was like, okay, genuinely go for like what you, Maria, originally think is like a good outfit or whatever, you know, like it would just automatically like low-key end up with like subscribing to all the things and like all the because it's so ingrained.
Society.
It's so ingrained in my head.
Yeah,
I'm so written by a man, you know. Definitely.
Yeah, and I was saying to Maria the other day, I think I found my perfect sexy outfit formula, because we have been talking about this for quite a while. This also isn't the first time we've recorded this episode, surprise, surprise. But I was like, yeah, slip dresses. This is what I wanted to wear when I was 16, when I was like living my naive life, and now I can go back to that lifestyle because it's the perfect combination of things. It's like what people traditionally find sexy, but also what makes me feel so good and like what I love wearing. And then I can like add my own little quirks to it, you know, like wear it however I want.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, essentially it is a bit of a mindfuck. But it is like quite an interesting thing to sort of look inwards on and be like, okay, who am I doing this for?
Yeah.
What am I doing this for? And not to say, maybe this is just like trying to defend myself a little bit, but like I feel like sometimes like there's nothing wrong with subscribing to the male gaze. Like maybe like sometimes it is gonna get you to your end, you know. It is like what
your
you
end.
like. It is the means to get to the end. As in like, okay, example, I want my boyfriend to think that I look fit, so I'm gonna go buy like this lingerie that is like specifically sold in a lingerie store that has been just like crafted out of what men find, you know what I mean? That
yeah,
like,
it gets you to the place you want to be. You decided that place.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's empowering.
I think it's exactly. I don't know. I don't think like you have to feel bad about subscribing to the male gaze. I do think that it is just about being a little bit more like, okay, like, who am I doing this for? What am I doing this for?
Being aware of
and
it.
doing shit for yourself rather than for anyone else. And if it's not for yourself, like, that's fine. Like, people don't have to be selfish all the time.
Yeah. Good point, Maria.
But make sure that you're being like genuine and like sticking to what you want to do and what you want, and like who am I, and like what do I stand for, and what does that mean, and what does that look like. And
just like always, I mean not always, but just think about how you interact with these systems of oppression. That like it's all interconnected, and it's just good to know and think about how it might be affecting other people. And like if you're upholding the male gaze, if you are living that ideal, you're trying to make it seem like that's something that's natural to you. That's not something that's natural to everyone else. And think about how like loads of other people are going to be beating themselves up trying to reach that point, when it's like we should all just be having these conversations and like being open about the fact that like this isn't like what I look like all the time. Like I have to work really hard to get to this point, and like this is a lot of grooming and like time and money, and not everyone has the means to do that, so you should just be aware of that.
And if you guys have any thoughts on the male gaze, and or any like experiences you want to talk about, any stories, like definitely open to hearing it, and like would love to do that. So you guys can DM those or email those or submit them on the website anonymously or send them as a Facebook message. Anything.
Whatever
really.
you want, just message
you have
us.
so many ways.
Please. Message us. So yeah, you can find us on all of those things. Sextras Podcast, website www.sextraspodcast.com. The email is sextraspodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
Leave us a review.
Tell us what zone you're in today. We'll give you our diagram. We're excited. Can't wait to see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Sextras, presented by Honey Jane Wyatt and Maria Jose Hayodatiyi. Produced by Mabel Productions.